My dad wrecked my car because he didn't stop at a stop sign, but now he's slamming the brakes on my proposition to let me carpool using their car since I don't have one and is suggesting I bike the whole 45-minute drive to my work every day. I, 21M, have been living at my parents' house due to recent life events. We have a pretty good relationship, but of course we have our moments. Well, about a week ago, my mom was at work and my dad needed to run by the store. He couldn't wait until mom got back, so he asked to borrow my car. I agreed to let him have it as I didn't have anything I needed to do right then. Well, about 40 minutes later I get a call from him saying he had been in an accident. Of course that scared the life out of me and I made sure he was okay first. He said he was fine and explained the accident. Long story short, he ran a stop sign and smacked straight ahead into another vehicle. Luckily, no one got seriously injured. Except my car. It's busted up pretty bad. Without going into much detail, the bumper, headlights, hood, and parts of the engine are messed up. I got my car in the shop and I'm still waiting on the estimated time it will take for me to get it back. Until then though, I need a car to get to and from work. And that's where the problem is. See, me and my mom have different work schedules but similar enough to where I could see us working something out. She usually goes in an hour earlier than me and gets off about 30 minutes before me. I figured I could drop her off, go to work, then pick her up. Well, my mom hates that idea. She says that she doesn't want to have to rely on me to pick her up or get her to work on time. She said since she wasn't involved in the accident she shouldn't be affected by the consequences. I told her it would just be until I got my car back, but she didn't care. I was expecting Dad to back me up, seeing as he's the reason I got into this mess. But instead he just agreed with her and said I should find a different way. The problem is, there is no different way. There's no good public transportation system in our town and we live about 45 minutes away from where I work. My dad then suggested I bike to work, which I quickly shut down. I'd rather not have to bike all the way to and from work every day when we could literally just share a car. I told them it was unfair for them not to let me use their car since Dad crashed mine. Then they said I was just being ungrateful as they were already putting a roof over my head and I shouldn't expect much more from them. I have no idea where they even thought I was being ungrateful. All I'm saying is, why would I choose a harder, more time-consuming way to work when there is an easier option? Am I being unreasonable? I feel like at the least Dad could convince Mom to let me use their car since this is his fault. But instead, he's just sitting there agreeing with everything she says. I would ask my siblings to chime in on this, but knowing them they'll just agree with my parents. So am I the jerk? Update 1. My parents ended up paying for the expenses to have my car fixed. We did also end up sharing a car until I had mine's back. After that I thought it was done and over. My mom made a comment about it here and there, but it didn't seem to seriously bother her. Until about a week and a half ago. She demanded that I pay them all the money for my car expenses back. She said it wasn't fair, she lost money to an accident she didn't cause. And I think that's fair, but I reminded her that I didn't cause it either. Dad caused the accident and I told her I'm sorry that it ended up affecting her as well. But that didn't change the fact my car had to be fixed and it was Dad's responsibility. She got really mad at that and started on a rant about how it was unfair and I was using them for money. And what was my dad's response to all this? He just agreed with her. I ended up just telling her what I've already said because there was honestly nothing else to say. She's been very upset with me since then. But she never mentioned any possibility of kicking me out. So imagine my surprise a couple days ago when I came home to all of my stuff being outside of the house in boxes. Literally on the curb. I was honestly shocked and mad about this and I immediately went in the house to question my parents about this. My mom said that she was tired of letting someone so ungrateful live in her house. My dad just repeated what my mom said but in a kinder way because I guess he thought she was being harsh. I couldn't believe it. I asked her to explain how I've been being ungrateful and she responded by basically saying we raised you. We went back and forth for a bit and we were both pretty mad at each other. Then my mom told me to leave the house or else she would call the police on me. I have no idea if anything actually would have came of that situation. But at that point I was so confused and angry that I just went outside and called around to find someone I was able to stay with. I ended up sleeping at a friend's house. It's been a couple days now and siblings have both been calling me. I guess my parents must have told them what happened. I'm assuming it was specifically my mom bad talking me to them. My sister agrees with my mom and says I should have just paid the money back. My brother agrees that it was unfair for them to kick me out, but also says I should have just paid the money back. My dad has also been trying to reach me, but honestly I've just been too mad to pick up the phone for him. I'm just so shocked by the whole situation. I wouldn't say me and my parents' relationship has always been easy street, but it's never been this bad. I honestly thought we were good until all this. The worst part is I was planning to move out and rent an apartment with a friend once their lease was up in 2 months. My parents knew that and still decided to do this. I'm just so confused and I don't understand where they're coming from. I get they raised me and took care of me and all that, but I just feel like that doesn't give them the right to do this all of a sudden. I don't think I did anything wrong. Update 2. Some things have happened since my last post. I calmed down a bit and decided to finally answer one of my dad's calls. He started talking about how afraid he was that I was never going to talk to them again. Then he said that things weren't supposed to go that way the other day and apologized for Mom putting my stuff outside. Apparently the plan was to talk to me about it first, but he said Mom got caught up in her emotions. When I asked why he didn't step in, he said it was because he didn't want to upset her anymore. I didn't really want to accept that excuse, but I took it so we could move forward. That was until I got another call from my brother. Mom's been absolutely shit talking me to him and my sister. Apparently she kept comparing me to them and how good they're doing, mind you they're both older than me by several years. Then she went on a rant about how much harder it's been to raise me compared to them. At one point he says she even insinuated that I was a mistake. Though he says to take that with a grain of salt as she didn't outright say it. My brother was uncomfortable with listening to her talk about me so harshly and he decided to call and tell me. I'm feeling a mix of emotions about all this right now. Part of me is still mad about the whole suddenly kicking me out thing. But I'm mostly just sad about it all. Knowing that my mom is saying all this stuff behind my back only makes me think she really means it. And whether she outright said it or not, hearing that she thinks I'm a mistake honestly crushed my soul. I don't understand why still, but I guess she has her reasons. I don't really want to talk to her again, but I do really want to know the truth of why she feels this way about me. I'm not sure about Dad yet. I'm not the type to cut people off, and having to do it to one person is already too much for me. I'm still staying with my friend as of now until I figure out what I'm doing. I guess I'll see how it goes from here. Update 3. So a lot more has happened over the last few days. First I went back home the other day to grab some important things I needed. I waited to go back over there until I knew my mom would be at work and tried to make it quick cause I didn't particularly want to see my dad either. While I was in there I did tell him what Mom had said about me. He did seem shocked she would say that to me or my siblings. But when I asked if this is the first time she's ever said that, he admitted that she's told him that more than a few times. When asked if he knew why, he just told me she has her reasons but they're not my fault. I tried to get him to explain more, but that's really as far as he would go. I don't really know how I should feel about that, but I just went with it. I asked if that's how he felt about me too. He said it's not and that he loves me. It hasn't really felt like that's true and I wanted to say that to him, but I just ended up saying okay. I told him I'm cutting Mom completely off and him too for now. After that I took my stuff and left. Fast forward to a couple days ago. I got a very angry series of messages from my sister about how horrible I am for turning our brother against our mom. She said I made Mom cry and that I should be ashamed of myself. Needless to say I had no idea what she was talking about. As far as I knew my brother wasn't against anyone in this situation, so I was just confused. I tried to ask her to explain, but I should know by now that I never get an answer from that. So instead I called my brother to ask him directly. Apparently Mom found out that I knew about what she said. I'm assuming Dad told her. Then she called my brother and screamed at him for going behind her back and telling me. To which he responded that she was the only one saying things behind people's backs and that she was being unreasonably mean to me for no real reason. He told her she should get her priorities straight and go yell at Dad for causing this whole thing. Then he told her not to call him again if all she was going to do was yell about someone or something. I honestly wasn't expecting that from my brother. He's not the type to step into conflict if he doesn't have to. But obviously her yelling at him set him off. I'm not trying to say I'm happy she did that, but I'm happy my brother responded the way he did. Obviously she cares more about what he thinks than she does me. I told my brother about what Dad says and he agrees his response feels weird. I asked if he possibly knows why since he's a bit older than me, but he's just as shocked about this all as I am. He also said he would talk to my sister about everything and get her to back off. So now I'm waiting to see how things go with that. Like I said before, I'm not the type to cut people off, but if my mom is just going to use my sister to talk to me, I'm going to block her too. Also, as far as housing goes, I decided to take my friend up on his offer and stay until my other friend's lease is up. That's the update for now.